Let's go!
I hit it hard, but straight. What is up, softballers? Madman27 here, and this is the story of Hard But Straight. Since you're here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, the surefire way to make sure you're batting 1,000 going 2 for 2. So last week, I made a video about putting a team together and some general rules of thumb. But maybe you want to take the less stressful route and just get picked up on a team. Don't blame you. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the do's and don'ts of how to get picked up for a softball team. Now before I get to the do's, I have to tell a story about one of the biggest don'ts. So back in 2007, I had a co-ed softball team. It was my 3rd year of doing it, and the year before we had just went 15-5. Super happy, super proud that I could put a good competitive team in such a short amount of time. We were returning most of our key players, so things were looking really good. But unfortunately, one of my best outfielders was going to be out of town for the first 2 games. Shout out Jason Clancy if you're watching. So my teammate comes to me and says, "My sister's fiance wants to play with us." He proceeds to tell me that he played a lot of softball in another county and even went to Florida for the World Tournament. I was only 24 at the time, very young and ridiculously naive. Not to mention that I was new on the softball scene, so my intel game wasn't exactly up to par. So I was like, cool! So a couple weeks before the season starts, my teammate is actually getting married, and he says I'll get to meet him at the wedding. Now, something that people who know me really well will tell you is that I have a huge heart. And while that's a good quality to have, it's not without its drawbacks. One of them is taking people at their word. Because I would always think, why would somebody lie to me about that? It's at this point I have to tell you, throughout this whole story, there's going to be a few pauses for moments of self-loathing. So we go to the wedding, and at the reception, we're introduced. So I start asking him about his background. And I'm like, "So I heard you went to Worlds." Yeah, I went to Worlds, man. Went down to Florida, went to Worlds. "Who'd you play for?" And he goes, Scott, and I mentioned the last name of a Scott that I know that was kind of active in the softball area. Yeah, him. So we get into the conversation about him as a player. Now, softball players, we can always tell how much skin someone has in the game just by having a conversation with them. We have our own vernacular, we have our own slang. So when I ask him, "What type of hitter are you?" he says, I hit it hard, but straight.
What?
Now I'm trying to give him a little leeway because he's drunk. When I say drunk, I mean drunk. So obviously I can't grade him on his ability to be coherent. And then he says, I hit to right field a lot. I hit to right field. And I remember standing there like, and he's like, "I'm real fast too. I'm real fast, and I got a good arm." I'm like, perfect, because we need an outfielder. So once we kind of hammer out all the details, the conversation should be finished. He keeps going. He keeps trying to emphasize, how good he is and how much he wants to play. I basically explained the situation to him that he was going to fill in for Clancy when he was out for a couple of games, and we'd go from there. But he just kept kind of pressing a little bit. Like I said, he's drunk. I'm not trying to, be too judgmental, but the longer he keeps going, the more put off I become. So the night before the season starts, my brother and I go to the movies, and we go out to eat, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, man, I don't know about this cat. And my brother's like, "What's the problem?" And I said, "Well," he said, "I hit it hard but straight." He doesn't say I'm a base hitter, I'm a line drive hitter, I hit seeds, I hit pills, I hit singles, just no terminology whatsoever. He's like, I hit it to right field a lot. He doesn't say I'm a spray hitter, a backside hitter, opposite field hitter, nothing. Like he sounded like the person who would call home plate home base. He's that guy. And my brother, who, much like me, has a big heart, said, "Well, maybe he just doesn't know the lingo like you do." And I was like, yeah, maybe so. So the next day, we get to the field, and he's there, and I get out of my truck, and he comes up to me, and he goes, "I got my glove."
You got me shitting me!
So if you're not a softball player, let me bring you some information. Softball players always have their gear within arm's reach. Always. May not be on your person all the time, but it's always someplace where you can get it. And he's like, "My glove's locked at my dad's house. I can't get to it." And you can say, well, maybe he just forgot his glove at his dad's house, which is not totally implausible, but it wasn't giving off that vibe. It was giving off the "I ain't touched my glove in years" vibe. So the game begins, and it took no time at all for this dude to get exposed. He didn't hit it hard, he didn't hit it straight, so he didn't hit it hard but straight. He was so far ahead of the ball, he was fouling it behind the third base dugout on more than one occasion. He was not fast. Good arm. I think I had a better arm than him, and my arm sucks. The game was a disaster because not only did he not play well, none of us really played well. We actually were all off that game. But you can tell when someone has an off game and when someone's just awful. But he saved the piece de resistance for last. He finally gets a decent enough piece of the ball that he hits a flare over third base, and it lands right inside the left field foul line for a fair ball. I look at the umpire signals fair. I look to see where he's at, and he hasn't even left the batter's box.
You mother...
The left fielder picks the ball up and throws him out at first.
I swear to God, wheels on the bus go.
And as he's walking back to the bench, and I look at him like, what the hell, bro? He says to me, I didn't hear him call fair.
Huh?
Again, for non-softball players who are watching this, the umpire never calls fair. He or she only calls foul. They always signal fair. And anyone who has even the smallest bit of experience playing softball or baseball for that matter knows that. As if I needed any other confirmation, it was in that moment I knew I got fleeced. Needless to say, for the second game, he wasn't called back. We took another direction. And his softball career ended just as quick as it began. It wasn't that he was a bad player. It was that he lied. If he would have come to me and said, I don't really play much, I've never really played, would he have gotten to play for my team? Probably not, but I would have helped him get on one. And not only did his softball career end, he's been a punchline in my softball group for years. So if you're out there trying to get picked up on a softball team, two very simple words. Be honest. If you don't have any experience playing, or if you're not very good, that's cool. This game is for everyone. Everyone's welcome to play. And no matter what your skill level, there's always going to be a team that you can find your way on. Will it be a good team? Probably not. You may have to take some whippings for a while. I did. Several others did. We all got to pay dues. But you can definitely get your foot in the door. So now that we've covered the don'ts and a very key do, here's some other things that I think can help you. I'm a super competitive guy, but I've always said there are 3 things that teammates need to do to be in my good graces. Number 1, show up. Be a reliable player. Be somebody who they can always count on is going to be there, especially if you bring something to the table. Number 2, be a team player. Take a walk. It's not something you'll have to do all the time. Just be willing to. Don't lobby for your lineup spot. Don't say, I need to be batting third if there's 4 or 5 other hitters on that team that are better than you are. And even if you are one of the top 5 hitters, still don't do it. It's crappy. Don't lobby for your position. You may want to play shortstop, but if there's a shortstop who's better than you, let him play it. And the last thing, and this is the most important, do your best. Always give 100% every time. How you take a win or a loss doesn't matter. Just bring your best game that day. You may go 0 for 4, you may go 4 for 4, but just make sure that you did your best that day. Don't be lazy, don't bring a bad energy, come out swinging. If you're a coach looking for player, and you get a little story like I got in this one, the evolution of the internet has now helped a lot. If a player tells you that they've played travel ball, ask them what association they played with. Then you can go to that association's website, do a player search, find out if they're telling the truth or not. Also, if you're trying to get picked up with a group of guys that may not know you very well, try to find references, people who can vouch for your talent. The year after the Hard But Straight story happened, I had a player, Michael Brewer, who had just graduated high school, and he wanted to play for my team. Being the fact that Michael was young, I wasn't so sure, but he had an uncle named John White, one of our area's best players, came to me and said, kid's legit, give him a shot, it'll work out for you. And he was right. Brewer was outstanding for me, played for me for 3 years, and he actually went on to have a pretty good run in the game. He was actually doing the cut swing before it was cool. Kid could hit. It'd be nice if this was just a rare story of what happens in softball, but unfortunately it isn't. I had a buddy of mine who was putting a team together for a local tournament, and he got up with this guy from northern Indiana. Told him that he was a major player, played conference, and had all this bat deals and all this crap. Turns out he was full of crap. He wasn't even close to a major player. I think the best he had was 1 year of E. He ended up no-showing him and left him ass out. And stuff like that happens all the time. That's something I'd always just suggest. Just be honest about your situation. If you're not very good, say it up front. That way coaches have no expectations from you to go out there and just do your best. And if you do want to improve and learn to hit it hard but straight, like and subscribe. Keep following my content. I'll have plenty of information for you. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and listening to my story. Hope it was entertaining. Keep playing hard. Keep being honest. God bless. And as always, stay level.
If you say I had a glow up, baby, wait until I blow up. Don't go claiming that you know us when before you didn't know that.